Yo, let's cover at least one TOD for every character in Bleach Rebirth of Souls with button input shown. TOD stands for Touch of Death. These are combos that deal enough damage to deplete their HP from max to 0 in one single combo to KO them. Because of how this game works though, most characters gain access to their TODs after awakening, but not everyone can soul break, which is truly hitting 0% HP to take an extra Konpaku lifestock. Some need to use Kikon ults earlier within that 30% HP now or never state to land their ultimates and kill. Some rely on max Spirit Drive and Buzz for extra damage, others can TOD other awakened characters with Sublimation and Spirit Drive, and some can't really TOD in practical ways, which will be explained throughout the video. While most do have TODs, some having multiple, you usually need your resources to be maxed out, so this can make them unrealistic to land in actual games, especially if they're harder to perform. This video will still be great to see how characters' most optimal combos can look like to give you max damage ideas on your hits. Let's start with Awakened Bankai Ichigo. You already know once SP2 gets activated, you can combo after it and land these Getsuga loops with the quicks. 3 Getsugas per SP2 Getsuga order usage. Using quick attacks builds more meter so you can use SP2 again for spiritual power. Doing just flash into signature deals more damage without that meter build though. Credits to Wawa Yada OG from Fighters for figuring this out first. As long as you have enough SP, you can get into huge damage from different hits with this character. He is crazy. Chad has one when he's in Spirit Drive. He needs to charge up his signature fully, and his is interesting since he has to micro walk a bit after SP1 by holding your analog up and then pressing quick almost right away for a tight quick attack link on most characters. Sometimes you might get white reverse instead of yellow reverse for some reason, and you can soul break fellas by doing SP2 on the second delay flash step if opponents don't have fighting spirit buffs, which is why I include that extension instead of just holding Kikon earlier. This combo is more on the harder side though, be careful. Uryu has one in Reawaken since this state lets him combo after his follow Poho with his long range flash, where the combo would normally end from most characters, making this an easy loop for Uryu. And he can do his SP1 as the second quick arrow is being launched, so he combos, delaying his reverse since this state lets him reverse with less meter, completing the combo to kill. He can also get into another similar combo after his high damage encounter on hit as well too. Yoruichi's TOD requires it to be used on characters with weaker defense stats. Rangiku is about average, Toshiro and a few others are below average for example. This is because Yoruichi is on the weaker side of damage output. Doing step flash after reverse does more damage, and you can delay flash step into flash quick extension, but it doesn't really add much because if you extend too much with her multi hits, then the combo hits and just drops at the end, which is sad because you would be able to soul break if it didn't. Maybe they'll buff her in the future with that multi hitting normals and max combo hit stun relationship thing going on. Kisuke is similar to Hollow Mask Ichigo with the loops, using his SP1 like a Getsuga Tensho to get these high damaging loops going. It's so damaging that it soul breaks when both are in Spirit Drive state. This combo builds just enough spiritual power back and right at the end of his SP2 timer to get that last easy Benehime loop to hit right before it expires. He has another harder loop without SP2 with a flash SP1 dash quick, which is very tight too if you want to explore that. Rukia is another low damage character needing to be in Spirit Drive against unawakened weak defense characters. Here that link between SP2 into quick only works by delaying the combo right until the hit stun is about to end to land a meaty quick, which can be timed with 4 steps after reverse. She does have lots of combo routes and links though, like SP1 into dash charge the signature into dash flash, or Hakugeki ending in SP2 snipe ender to soul break from afar, but she can't really TOD practically. Ikaku has a lot of consistent damage, especially when his unique gauge is full, but he can't really soul break besides this one with maxed out resources against weaker unawakened characters. The delay timings are the only hard parts to avoid the follow-ups, but the rest works well. He has a few other hits where he can use Kikon earlier though, including using a flash quick SP2 into flash like Kisuke and Ichigo, which gives additional damage boosts to his combos. Rangiku, another low damaging Soul Reaper, only having a TOD in Spirit Drive against weaker defense ones. This one needs to be set up with a high nickel before the combo for extra hits as you're comboing, but she does also deal a ton of damage off her counter like Yoruichi, so if you already have her high nickel area active on the field, you can get lots of damage off the counter. Here's one of my personal favorites that I lapped out with the Shuhei Hisagi, using the grab to have a fixed distance into backstep with flash Q flash or flash quick to loop his SP1 into flash from a distance to complete your TOD. I love how you need to micromanage distances to make his combos work, it's so cool. The only thing is that it requires a specific gauge to be in the red zone in Spirit Drive, which only occurs very late in games, making these super sick combos not too practical sadly. This loop works off of other starters as well depending on your distances, still being a TOD against Spirit Drive and has potential to soul break as well. And remember that he also has a high damaging counter that he can yellow reverse into the same combo structure for a TOD. Usually when characters are low damage, they have other strong tools, and that's how it is with Izuru Kira. Yeah, he can truly soul break low defense characters, but he also has his unblockable ultimate setup from his lockdown Hado that prevents them from blocking and always guaranteeing an ultimate, so it makes up for the limited combo routing. Kaien Shiba needs to charge his gauge up for that buffed up tilt flash. He's also on the weaker side, only working on a weaker fellas, especially since he can't really combo with his SPs. His SPs only serve as combo enders, which does give him a consistent source of damage on different hits if you have enough spiritual power. So that kind of makes up for not having a single long combo, just having multiple sources of damage instead. Time for the captain, starting with my boy Toshiro. He has a bunch of different high damaging combos, but this is one that starts with grab at level 0 of his ice gauge. The dash quick perk is the tightest link after his SP2, and using his signature gets you to that level 3 right when you need it. But once you're in level 3, you can loop SP1 into flash attacks over and over again for easy high damage with the captain of squad 10. Now, Soi Fon's is kinda insane. This TOD can use her signature to extend her combo string, but having to micro delay after flash quick to land another set of quick attacks. Then you do the Hakugeki cancel into reverse by holding it until the red appears, but holding SP1 after the reverse is the hard part. You want it to reach her level 3, which requires a long charge time, so you can use the character's hands falling down or the stun meter right when it's about to end to know when to let go. And if you get to level 3 and you get it right, you can do a tight step flash to continue with the extensions. Lots of timing involved in this one, and she do be on that low damage side sadly, so this isn't practical in actual games, but still very fire. Then we got Kenpachi. He's interesting, dealing more damage the less Konpaku he has, but this one only works on weaker characters with a spirit drive off of strike backs when he only has one stock left. So that's a lot of requirements, which makes it not realistic in actual games at all. But he does have great combo enders for consistent damage on different hits. That boy Kenny also has in the wall near the corner type combo where he can continue his hits after SP1 with flashes and quicks, so he can secure a lot of damage like that. Mayuri is very unique, needing to have SP1 set up first, then you can go into SP2, and then delay your SP1 input slightly after finishing your quick attack into that delayed explosion, which allows Mayuri to land another quick attack and continue his string. Besides that, again, it only lands on the weak. I don't know why they made most of the captains like this, man. They did not do my boys right. I need justice for captains, man. They be creative, but I need some damage. Head Captain Yamamoto though, now he can soul break fellas in spirit drive, actually getting really close to soul breaking opponents with a spirit drive state as well, but falling just slightly short, so that's very interesting honestly. Besides that, the entire combo is pretty easy, I ain't gonna lie, but you love to see it because that means it's practical as hell. Shinji. Now he also got a practical TOD in Spirit Drive, beating others in Spirit Drive as long as you have his Sakanade, because that gives you access to his tilt signature as a breaker hit. You need to shimmy to space out the SP1 properly to combo like so, and I just love how he's jumping mans with Hiyori. That's very funny and very good damage too. I think at this point we all know Shinji's value with his counter or breaker mind game as well, which makes his combo starter lethal. Grimmjow has a soul break in Spirit Drive state against those who aren't, with a simple combo off a grab. This comes close to soul breaking those in Spirit Drive, but if they do have less than 100% HP, then this can get really useful, where you can reverse into tilt flash, so you can get into an earlier Kikon for an ultimate instead of trying to soul break. Now, Espada number 5, Nnoitora is another very different character, dealing more damage when he's under 4 Konpaku due to growing extra arms. But he's more of a get damage on every tool by itself type character, not really a combo them together type character, like his SPs when they're charged or even tilt flashes where they're all command grabs. It makes sense for him because of how his armor works, so he can actually land these breaker moves consistently, and balancing out shorter combos for strong armor and grabs is how the developers decide to make it fair for him. This does get close to killing against other characters in Spirit Drive too though. Ulquiorra Reawakened can TOD off his tilt flash starter, being able to combo off his zeros, which also drains his HP, as well as combo off of his SP2. He can reverse chain his SP1 here to extend it further, and then end off the combo by holding up after the Hakugeki to let you cancel it with a walk that lets you cancel into zero, or else you will be locked in place after the Hakugeki. And this soul breaks fellas without Spirit Drive, but against them you can get into Kikon earlier in the combo. I'm sure you can get more damage to TOD Spirit Drive fellas by swapping some stuff around though. Ulquiorra has insane damage. Halibel actually has a few different combo routes and loops, but here's the most optimal one by Meso, being able to soul break characters, including weaker ones while they're in Spirit Drive like Yoruichi, Rukia, etc. The key here to this combo is that you have to do signature delay into Quake so that it can reach end combo. Waiting a bit after pressing signature lets the signature dash continue a bit more to cover more distance and be closer so the SP1 can link into quick attacks and everything. This combo is so sick, man. Szayelaporro, this unique character can get easy loops by holding the trigger after flash step follow up to cancel the flash step a whole follow up, letting him only get 2 hits instead of 3. That's then comboable with flash quick flash, being able to build reverse backup so you can combine these with SP2 and you can get some easy loops going that TODs even Spirit Drive characters. His ultimate do be staying RNG though, but depending on his resources that helps your odds. I think soul breaking improves your odds of pulling a good damaging ultimate one too, so this character kinda interesting, can't lie. Awaken Nelliel though, once you fill her meter up with signature, you get special follow-ups and cancel. So after 2 hits of SP1, you can press flash again to get those extra follow-up hits, then press step or dash before that animation ends to step cancel it into flash and continuing the combo like so. So make sure you press the flash follow-up after SP1 after the 2 big hits connect. And then after reverse, you need to double step to time her high damaging SP2, which is also comboable on hit. This route can soul break those with lower statuses by following up with some delayed Hakugeki step follow-up combos, and that girl Nell really be balling with the combos. These are so goddamn fire, sheesh. Espada numero uno, Stark has a really cool one, having to time his chain reverse right when you see the blue explosion occur after SP1, then needing to micro walk in the middle of that wolf's attack segment with signature. This part being the hard part of the combo to make sure you're within reach of that step flash at the end. But low damage only lets him TOD before awakened opponents, and due to the wolves being a limited resource, this combo is not happening online. Still looks and feels really cool to do though. I hope Stark gets some buffs. Kaname Tosen on unawakened characters, if his counter version of SP2 lands, you can whiff a quick into chain reverse to let the yellow reverse hit them to continue the bombo. This can soul break weaker characters as well with 2 delayed flash step flash Q flash follow-ups ending with SP2 on the last flash quick flash. Gin is another unrealistic one since you need to land his counter first for the damage buffs, and land your flash hits as far as you can because Gin does more damage when only the tip connects. You're able to soul break weaker characters with SP2 by extending it further to end off the combo, but stronger ones can just hold that Kikon earlier. It's kinda cool how they gave him that like tip status buff, but besides that, the combos don't really be cooking. One of the most goated villains ever, Aizen, used to have a crazy reawakened one that was patched, but his awakened one is pretty basic. Just remember to hold the tilt flash all the way so these blasts come out, and you need all of his personal stocks to be 4 or 5 for this to work, or else that tilt flash normal you hold out isn't accessible. You get a different normal instead. Normal just means move. That's just my FGC brain talking. For some miscellaneous stuff, Dangai Ichigo has a pretty inconsistent one. He needs to get to his second conclusion state since every state gives his moves extra buffs. As you can see with the icon, after every Kikon we land, his counter starts from 1 hit to a few hits, and then level 3 has a lot of hits with a lot of damage. So this TOD only works after Dangai Ichigo gets Spirit Drive and Conclusion, only against weaker characters with nothing. So this is another impractical TOD, I'm afraid. His SP2 combo ender and grab mechanics can be interesting for consistent damage though, and bro literally wins you the game on his third Kikon, so that's how they balance him out, you feel me? Besides that, there are a lot of wall extensions I was talking about earlier being at this specific point in the corner where moves can link into each other, and a lot of characters can do this, from Awaken Soul Society Ichigo to Byakuya, because Byakuya lost his loot before, but now if he's close he can kind of get it going. But this combo is just super inconsistent because bro, you're not gonna have them at the specific spot in games and then hit confirm it, you feel me? Byakuya's optimal combo does get really close to killing though, so I thought I would just include that to give y'all an idea of how that looks. But I am glad the loops are gone. Now there are some characters who just don't have a TOD even on weaker ones, but they usually have something else unique to them. Like Shunsui, he doesn't have one, but he has a whole unique RNG status thing when he awakens that includes depleting HP and other things with some of his children games that he has going on. But same with Orenji and Konomura, but bro, they have that giant awakening, so they had to balance things out, you know? Although Renji can link his quick attack after the follow-ups by holding the follow-ups, kind of like Szayelaporro, which is pretty cool but tight. With that being said, that's every character's TODs. Hope y'all learned something, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.